You may have a question on superhuman. What do we mean by that? And I know that looking around the room, there's probably a lot of people here that may think you're superhuman or you have to be superhuman to do your jobs. I certainly have had a week where I have felt that I have to be superhuman. My wife just had surgery on her ankle, so she's, what do they call it, non-weight bearing. So I'm carrying her upstairs every night. My daughter, this is true, my daughter is in cheerleading. They were doing a stunt, somebody landed on her face. So she was at the pediatrician, and my son yesterday got a concussion from football. So, and 3 days ago, they told me to come to this event and speak. So, I know. But we are going to talk about natural language technologies today, and I do want to jump right into the technology. There's a lot of smart people here, but before I do that, I do want to give a little bit of history. And let me just see. There we go. The year was 1495. Now, before you all roll back and say, oh God, this guy just brought us back to 1495, it's 2 slides, so bear with me here for the history, okay? So in 1495, true story, there was a bishop, and his name was Elphinstone. Bishop Elphinstone, he was a Scot from Aberdeen, Scotland. And he had an idea or a thought that primitive man could become noble through language. And I just thought that was, one, great, but he took that thought and he said, you know what, I want to found a university. So he, being a bishop, had to go to Rome, ask the Pope, hey, I want some money and your approval to start a university. And he did indeed get approval from the Pope. And in 1495, the University of Aberdeen in Scotland was founded, and it was really based on language. Now, there is a point, I will tie Elphinstone, which you'll never forget because it sounds kind of like Flintstone, Elphinstone, Bishop Elphinstone. I will tie that back by the end of the presentation. So Elphinstone actually, he donated to start the university 200 literary works, manuscripts, and that is still at the university today. It's in a vault under the library, and it has grown to over 200,000 pieces. And I'm going to fast forward now all the way to, you can't see it, 1971. So the university is actually growing, has grown a lot over several hundred years. And 1971 was kind of the dawn of the computing era, right? And they decided, the university leaders decided, hey, this is really important stuff. We need to go ahead and bring this into the university and let people study computing. And so the lab that they built was born in 1971. Then you go to 1995, and we're still talking language, because that's the university, but now you have computing. And in 1995, there were 2 professors at the university that said, hey, you know what? There is a disconnect here between computing and humans. Computing always thinks in numbers, and humans tend to like words. Data is a type of language where it doesn't yet involve words. And NLG brings the power of language to your data. So brings up a good point of what Arria does. So what we do is we offer a form of artificial intelligence called NLG. Now there's a lot of subsets here under AI, right? So you have ML, machine learning. You have NLP, natural language processing, which they presented already. You have NLQ, natural language query. You have NLU, understanding. NLG. So we are the experts in natural language generation. That's what I'll talk about today. So our software can actually replicate the human process of analyzing data. So basically, you give us the data, we'll give you back a narrative of what your data means. It seems impossible, I know, but it's true. It actually works. You give us structured data, we'll turn around and we'll tell you what it means. And the very cool part of this is that we can do it really fast. We like to say machine speed. That seems to be a term. That's kind of a safety term. It's fast. It's near real time. It's in milliseconds. And another piece of it is that as your data changes, your narrative is going to change with it. So think about that. I'll give you an example in a minute. I'm a nice guy. Don't believe me if you don't want to. That's fine. You can do your research. But here's some of what the industry is saying. Gartner has said that we are a high-value product. We're a global leader. Forrester just also said we're a leader. They also said we have the most comprehensive product out of all participants. They also just came out, Forrester just came out this year with a total economic impact study of bringing Arria into an organization. I'm happy to send it to everyone. You can either stop by, we have a booth right outside these doors, kind of sandwiched in between the two doors. But drop your card, I'll send you the Forrester report. It's 18 pages long, but it's a good read. Silicon Review actually has said we're one of the top 50 best companies to watch. We are still small, we are still private. I'm hoping that they're dead on with watching Arria. And the BBC News is not only reporting on us, they are a customer as well. They actually used Arria to generate stories about the prime minister election around the country. They ran out of analysts to cover all of the elections, so they used Arria to generate and write the stories. Okay, you may have this question as to where do you sit in the tech stack? And forgive the blue right here. I do a lot of work with the Defense Department, and this was one slide that I used for them. But you're bringing data in from everywhere, right? And we are the little triangle at the bottom, NLG. We are the last stop. And when you bring the data in, there's a lot that has to happen. You're going to have to scrub that data clean to get it in the format that you need. You're going to apply data analysis. You're going to apply, advanced artificial intelligence. You're going to eventually maybe wind up in a BI dashboard, Tableau, Power BI, MicroStrategy, TIBCO, Click. Doesn't matter to us. We're agnostic. We work with all of them. And we can integrate with all of them. We have integrated with all of them. But the point being is that we are the last stop. So we take the structured data, and it's got to be clean by the time we get it. Most of that is done by the BI platform company. Okay. So I'm sorry that this got kind of big. But we talk about the automation of knowledge workers. And that screen that I just showed you the last time was all about, everything can be automated, but when you get to a certain level for the insights in your data, then you're still having to do that manually. You still have an analyst that is like, okay, here's all the data, what does it mean? Tell me what it means, right? So I actually was working with a knowledge worker, and she's a nurse manager. Her name is Judy. She was awesome. Judy started as a nurse, was really good at her job. She's clinical, obviously, and she became a nurse manager. Great. So we were talking, and she says, well, I get a report once a month. And I said, send me your report. So she redacted it, and here's a snippet of her report. And I said, okay, well, you sound really frustrated. What is it that I can help you with? And she goes, well, it's a great report, but it doesn't really tell me anything. And I don't know. I want to dig in these numbers. I want to know. And I'll just read a few. I didn't write this. This is from her. And it kind of made me laugh. But why am I ahead on patient cash? Have I made an improvement? Is it something I can share with other teams? Why am I under on MD salaries? Did someone leave and I not know about it? Why am I over in non-MD salaries? Is this overtime? Can I justify it? And then finally, the last one kind of made me chuckle, is supplies. Why am I over in supplies from what I budgeted? And is there a department that I have that is just hoarding supplies? And it just made me laugh because she actually gave me a real example, and there was hoarding going on, and she didn't understand why. But I thought that was funny. But the point here is that this could be anybody's data. It doesn't have to be Judy's data. It could be any type of data. And you could have lots of questions, and you should be able to get in and figure out the answers to the data. And I said to her, Judy, tell me your process now. What is your process? She said, I get the report once a month, and then we meet with the medical directors, and we meet with a couple other people, and we sit down. I said, well, do you answer your questions? And she said, most of the time, but not all the time. And I said, okay, great. And so you have a lot of high salary people that are now scheduling a meeting to go to discuss something that you may or may not have the answer to. And by the way, it's 30 days. This is going back 30 days previous. So you're looking at the previous month and the data. And I said, what do you need? And she goes, well, I would really like to have real-time data, and I'd like to be able to drill into what I need. She's the knowledge worker. She knows what she needs. She knows what she has to answer, and she knows how to fix it. She's very competent. She doesn't have the process right now. So I'll just go through the value, really, of data analysis is greatest when received in real time. And that's just logical, right? What's happening today, what's going on today in my department. And it also has to be an easy to read language. And I'm going to divert from this for a second just to tell you, I work with the military, and I had a general tell me that, he goes, we have teams of soldiers, warfighters, that are in the field with a mobile device. They're not analysts. They need to know what to do from the data. They need to just have a sentence that says, yes, go ahead and proceed, or do not proceed, that type of thing. Real time is key. Being able to automate your systems is key. Here's kind of the Forrester report that I will send all of you, but this is what Forrester said. Now, It was a report that Arria commissioned. However, we did not have anything to do with it. We just said, you know, do a report on NLG and see what you can find out. They interviewed 7 of our customers. Some staggering numbers, and staggering came from them. It was their word when they said, you know, we haven't seen these type of numbers. But 80% automation of manual reporting work. Pretty huge. Think about that as far as time savings. Giving up people who have been working in, you know, in the minutia of you know, labor-intensive reports. You're freeing them up to do higher priority tasks. So when we look at a before and after, just draw your attention to the upper right. That's probably what you're used to seeing. You're probably used to seeing like a Tableau dashboard, lots of pretty graphs, lots of charts. And this does a great job of giving you visual, right? But it's still two-dimensional. It's still, you know, not giving you the whole picture, and you're still going to have questions. With Arria, on the lower piece, you're going to get a narrative along with your visual, but we're still narrating the underlying data. I do want to point out, the slide's really not that important, but this is what we did for investment analysis conference in New York, and we have several different companies that are Fortune 100 companies. But I love this quote, and it says, "Analysis that provides subjective information on an investment which used to take hours to perform can be done in an average of 4 seconds." And I'll just go one more quote here. I love the lower one. "It's a ridiculous time savings because no one can even do this. It's so far ahead of our time. It's completely groundbreaking." And so it wouldn't be a presentation without quoting something from McKinsey. McKinsey has identified NLG as one of 5 core technologies enabling automation. And we see this having a 5 to 7 trillion impact by 2025. So, you know, what everybody is saying, if you're not looking at AI, start. If you're not looking at NLG, start. If you don't know how to start, reach out to us. We have helped lots of companies. We have 4 of the top 10 pharmaceutical companies using our product today. And they've all started with a small project, and we help them grow. So if you're not using it, or if you're not thinking about it, start thinking about it. Start asking questions. And I'm just going to end with one more slide, but it's our vision that I want to end with, which is through NLG, we want to ensure that humanity remains at the heart of AI. And that means empowering people to do more and be more. And our mission is really to connect the world of data to humanity by giving data the power of language. Now, if you go back to where I started with Flintstone, Bishop Flintstone, he kind of had a similar thought process. You know, like, oh, we have the nobles and we have people that can't read or write. Maybe we should get everybody to learn to read or write. And that's what we're saying, is not only empower the executives, the IT department, power the people that are making decisions. Power the people that have to make the decision, and they'll make it based on data. And on that, I just want to say thank you. We have a booth here. come by. I'm here. Kevin in the back of the room. Kevin and I will be here all afternoon. We'll be here for happy hour. We're here all day tomorrow. If you have questions, let us know. And on that, thank you very much.